Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. How do you build trust and how do you lose trust? Very simple. You lose trust after you build trust by lying, by saying something and doing something else, opposite to what you said you will do. All right. How do you build trust? By being consistent in doing what you said you will do. So honesty is a big factor in this, building or losing someone's trust. I have an article here that I really expected it for a long time. And this article comes, if true, as a proof that what the Russians were saying all along, again, was true. So I looked to see, well, maybe it's just one outlet that's going to report this news. And I found it in at least three. There were more, but I picked three titles. One, which was I think the most interesting, they're all the same, it's just a small variation, comes from the Times of India from today, June 25th. This is the title. Russian troops kill up to 80 Polish fighters in Ukraine, Moscow claims. Polish from Poland. Now, the other article that I had here, just to build trust here, comes from Al Arabiya News, and it says up to 80 fighters from Poland killed by Russian troops, Defense Ministry. And then I picked one from the Daily Mail, and from the same date, and it has a little different title. It says, now Russia threatens Poland. Putin claims to have killed 80 Polish fighters in East Ukraine and removes flag from memorial to World War II Poles killed by Soviet Union amid fresh tensions mount over Kaliningrad enclave. So the fact that these guys present, which is not proven, but is, I said, a fact because they present it as a fact, is that Polish fighters are in Ukraine fighting for Ukrainians, for Ukraine. This was claimed by Russia a long time ago, and everybody in the Western mass media dismissed this claim as being just fantasies. They didn't even report it, didn't even look into it, didn't follow up or anything. Personally, I was 99.9% certain there are not only Polish troops fighting over there. How should I put it? I predict that they will find, I said this over and over in my previous videos, that British Army is fighting over there. Units of American special forces are fighting over there. Because they prepare the terrain for this, when they always said there's just their trainers and military advisors. Now we know, and I spoke about this before, what the military advisors were in Vietnam, starting in Vietnam. They were not only advisors, they were sitting down and telling those guys what to do. They had weapons in their hands and fighting. So nevertheless, let's go and read. I'm going to start with the Daily Mail. Actually, no, I'm going to start with the first one with Times of India. And it says here, Moscow, Russia said on Saturday its troops have killed up to 80 Polish fighters in precision strikes in eastern Ukraine. I'm quoting, up to 80 Polish mercenaries, 20 armored combat vehicles and 8 Grad multiple rocket launchers were destroyed in precision strikes on the Megatex zinc factory in Konstantinovka. So they were at a factory over there, fighters. I'm going to go now to the Al Arabiya News from the same date, 25th, today. And it says like this. Russia said on Saturday its its troops killed up to 80 Polish fighters in precision strikes in eastern Ukraine. And as the same, we killed 20 armored combat vehicles, blah, 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 in the zinc factory in Konstantinovka, in the Donetsk region. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement, which could not be independently verified. Yet, I'm pretty sure they will provide proof, and if not, we'll find out. The region claimed by Russia has been the theater of combat since Moscow began its offensive in Ukraine in late February. The Russian military ministry did not state when the strike took place. It is in its statement, the ministry added that more than 300 Ukrainian troops and foreign mercenaries, as well as 35 heavy weapons, were destroyed in the space of a day in Mykolaiv, a Black Sea city in southern Ukraine. Russia describes as mercenaries foreign volunteers fighting with Ukrainian forces. This is damage control. That's why they inserted this. In April, the Defense Ministry said that some 30 Polish mercenaries had been killed in the northeastern city of Kharkiv. Nobody believed that, no? So, and I'm going to the Daily Mail and see what they say here. So I read the title that the Russians are going to threaten Poland for that, and they removed the flag from the memorial to World War II Polish killed by Soviet Union amid tensions amount in Kaliningrad. So Russia claimed a precision strike wiped out 80 Polish fighters in the Donbass. On the same day, Russia admitted taking down Polish flag from Katin massacre site. You remember what Katin was? In the Katin Forest in Poland, when the Soviets invaded Poland together with Germany, in the territory over there that they took the not British, the Polish intelligentsia, military, priests, the people that had value in the society that could influence the Polish culture, Polish people, and so on. They got them about 15,000, if I remember correctly, not 30, 15,000, I think. And they dug mass graves over there, and they shot him in the back of the head, and they got killed over there. And this was done by the commissars. And just check who the commissars mostly were, and check how many Russians were the commissars, and who was in charge of the commissars, another Russian commissar. And then that's why when you say that Stalin killed 20 million Russians and so on, it was not Stalin, because he didn't know 20 million to say, yeah, Tom Jones, you're gonna go too, Michael Jackson too, Elvis too, Mick Jagger too, Bruce Dickinson too. He didn't know all these guys, right? So he was provided with a list, and he signed it. Who provided with the list? The people on the territory, the people that had problems with other people, the people who found crimes, and that was sometimes Kaganovich providing him with this kind of list, Beria providing him, all these Russians. So this is the Katin Forest. And then they blamed it on the Germans. When the Germans came with a front towards the Soviet Union, then they discovered these mass graves. We're told about the Poles. And when they came, they asked international observers to come. They came, and they took all these bodies out, about 15,000. And the Americans, the British, all these guys were the Red Cross, and they said, yes, these were killed by the and until 1991, in the history books, it was written that Katin Forest was a massacre committed by the German Wehrmacht, when instead they knew, because they were over there, that it was done by the Soviet commissars. So this is what the Katin story is, much more about that. Why 1991? Because when they opened the, the records in Soviet Union after it collapsed, the Russians, they said, yes, it was the Soviet Union commissars, and they did this. Yes, we admit. Do you know that? Even now, people think the Katin Forest was done by the Germans. So yeah, that's what is from the Polish flag from Katin massacre site. Poland has called on NATO to reinforce Suwalki Gap in support for Lithuania. Yeah, so they want to, and then Lithuania is enforcing its blockade. So tension between Russia and NATO member Poland have been cranking up to boiling point in recent days amid Russia claims that it has killed up to 80 Polish mercenaries in missile strikes. The reported losses come on the same day that Russia confirmed it has removed a Polish flag from a memorial commemorating the murder of thousands of Poles by the Soviet Union in 1940. Well, this is it. I had no doubt. I told you I was 99.9 certain that there are Polish fighters now in the Polish army, but they're not going to say, oh yeah, I'm a Polish army. So if you catch them live, they would say they're volunteers and so on, or they were just, peace-loving, peacekeeping and so on. But I think that they were over there for different reasons, and maybe delivering of arms as well. And as I said, I had news about Polish fighters being and fighting over there since they said April, probably from then when they reported. But at that time, I didn't find that they were killed then, just they're present in Ukraine fighting. I didn't find an article saying that they were killed, 20 or something. But as I said, so this is going to complicate a little bit the problem with Poland, which London and Washington will celebrate, I think, because that means they're going to get closer to getting, like this with Russia, when Russia will attack or do something to Poland unprovoked and blah, 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 how it goes. Just invented stuff. Maybe they did. We'll find out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.